Let's focus on attacks and what worked well. What worked well for us in this game was our fast breaks, which involve a forward getting a pass which leaves him with only a couple of defenders to get past or less. In other words, get the pass as far forward as he can. He can then run down and either score or pass back to another forward who's running with him, or he can cross. But the key is he has to start for as far forward as possible, so the forwards can't go back to retrieve the ball. Another thing to keep in mind is when the one forward is running down the side and crosses the ball to the middle of the goal, the other forward has to be at the back post, not too close to the forward giving the cross, because it's very likely that the cross will be strong and will go past him, and that's a missed opportunity. Our attacks that don't work well usually involve a forward getting the ball on our own side of the field or at the halfway line and then trying to dribble through a pack of defenders. We could either lose the ball, or in some cases we lose the ball and set up a counterattack that's quite dangerous. So when the forwards get the ball with a lot of defenders between them and the goal, they've got to quickly pass it off to another forward or do a through pass. I'm now going to focus on defensive problems. Most of our attention in this game is going to be focused on controlling the two big blonde guys, number 12 and number 14. Very strong players. But the only goal that was scored on us in our game, and most of the goals that were scored yesterday by Baja's team, involved the left forward standing in front of the goal unmarked. We repeatedly left this little guy on the left standing unmarked right in front of the goal waiting to get across. Now 3 out of the 4 times he either missed or the goalie got it first. But the last time he was able to score on that cross. So he actually is the most dangerous guy on the field, and it's very simple to control it. Just don't leave him unmarked standing in front of the goal. Nicholas, that will probably be you because he's a left forward. Now I'm going to focus on the two strongest players in Baha's team, number 12 and number 14. These are midfielders. Number 12 plays on the left, and he's able to take powerful shots from far outside the penalty area. Fortunately, during our game, he missed almost all the time, or the goalie was able to get it. But we can't count on being that lucky. In the first quarter of our last game, he put a lot of pressure on us and had a lot of near misses. The obvious thing to do is to mark him. Don't allow him to get the ball so easily. So I'm going to have one of our midfielders stay with him the whole time to make it more difficult for him to take a shot. Number 12 also shoots from outside the box. Very powerful shots. He is faster than number 14, but his shots are not quite as powerful. I did see him score a couple of times in the game yesterday. Again, we need to mark him to make it more difficult for him to take the shot. Another very frustrating thing about our game was that number 12 and number 14 kept intercepting our punts and goal kicks. For some reason, the ball would almost always go to where number 12 or number 14 were. The way we're going to deal with that is we're going to mark number 12 and number 14 and have the sweeper kick somewhere where they're not. Pretty easy thing to correct, and we'll talk about it before the game. Still another way number 12 and number 14 created problems for us was intercepting our throw-ins. High percentage of the time we would throw it right to them, and they would do something dangerous with it, like pass it forward for a fast break. Again, this is easy to correct. We've got to give our players who are throwing in an easy option, and they have to make sure they don't throw it to number 12 or number 14. And those guys move. They don't just stand around and wait for the ball. The problem really arises when we don't give the guy throwing in the ball an easy target. Another thing number 12 likes to do that can cause some problems is he'll take the ball deep in his own territory and then just run down the side. And we seem to have trouble getting on him, probably because our defenders are already back. We've got to find a way to not let him run down the side and take a shot, or run down the side and do a cross, either of which can be quite dangerous. The solution is to mark him better when he doesn't have the ball and have the stopper play closer to the midfield so the stopper can be in a position to intercept his runs. The last thing we want to be careful about is their trick corner kick that involves a short pass. Number 12 will line up for a corner kick, and then 14 will come out and take a short pass, then pass it back to 12, who will boom it. The way to do that is to make sure we cover number 14.